Welcome back to the West Ham Network for your starting 11 prediction show against Manchester United. West Ham all the way up to Old Trafford. So we are going to discuss who we think will be in the West Ham starting 11. Roll the titles. That's all, Matt. Mate, Manchester United games are coming thick and fast. They're coming thick and fast, but also at the same time, we're coming to the winter window. I mean, there's only a few more games to go, and then we've got a big break for about, is it 6 weeks?
4 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that. Yeah,
like that. But coming thick and fast. I mean, it's a bit of a different West Ham to the start of the season.
I remember, like, not that long ago, we were saying, October's coming around. There's like 12 games in a really short period of time, and we navigated it quite well. I mean, one loss in the last 6, and that was at Anfield when we should have got something out of the game.
Yeah,
we're still not clicking quite yet on the attacking front. We're still not, like, all the stats people. The XG is very high. The expected goals. We're just not scoring them. But on the flip side, at least we're now at that stage again. We were like the European game or the European seasons where we were dragging out results. We're finding a way to win, and it's. I think international break might come at a good time if we can just get that last bit to click.
Yeah, and I think for me, I think we mentioned it in the chat the other day. We were talking, and I was saying that for me, it's creating chances. That's the thing that. In order to score goals, you need to create chances first and foremost. If you're not creating chances, you're never going to score goals. So it's just about getting that to click. I mean, we've got 2 players up top who we do know on their day can score goals, and just being shy of it. And, it's been a topsy-turvy start. And we're now on the cusp of having nearly everyone fit, Matt. Nearly everyone fit, just as we're about to break up for the winter break. That's the part that gets me.
But it's typical, isn't it? Now we've got to hope everyone comes back from the winter break as fit as when they left. People that do go, of course.
That's exactly what we do need, of course, 100%. Now, it's Manchester United, mate. Old Trafford. I was at the game last year. Last-minute loss. Very disappointing. Unfortunately, I can't go to the game tomorrow. I'm a bit gutted, but I'm sure all you fans that are travelling, today, I should say, all you fans that are travelling up there today, safe trip, safe journey, and sing loud and proud, and get the fan base behind you, and get the players behind you as well. That's exactly what we're looking for. But it's a tough place to go. There's no ifs and buts about it. They're on a bit of form recently, haven't they?
Yeah, we're both hitting form at sort of it's weird. So we're both hitting form at the right time, and we're both kind of playing quite like it's kind of similar that for Man United, certain things just aren't clicking. I mean, yeah, they scored 3 goals the other day, but that was against Sheriff Tiraspol, one of the lowest ranked teams, and like the UEFA coefficient or whatever. But in the league, it's not like a bit like us. They're finding a way to win without really like getting that connection, getting that thing to get them going again. But it seems to have been our luck recently that even though we're doing this quite well, we seem to be playing teams when they're starting to come into form.
Yeah.
It's just West Ham luck, isn't it? Played Man United at the start of the season. Brentford put 4 past them.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Well, listen, without further ado, it's the time where we start to predict our 11. We did it last week. Again, we do it every week, but we had a good old discussion about the middle of the park, mate, against Silkeborg. And, this is one I'm going to throw at you. I'm going to throw it at you. I'm going to say, listen, I got it right in the middle of the park. It's not very often I do, but when I do, I'm going to make you, look at me and go, you were right, Anton. You were right, Mr. Connor Coventry.
Yeah, you know what? Generally, don't get me wrong, I'm happy. I'm happy that he actually got the playing time. But the way he had been treated, I just didn't feel that Moyes actually trusted him enough to do it.
Yeah.
But then he played, he started, he played a really good game, and he got praise from Moyes at the end of the game, saying he played really well. So hopefully, again, that gives Moyes something to think about.
Yeah.
But he's probably a month behind, 6 weeks behind where Downs was when Downs first came in, and Moyes was like, okay, there is something there. So maybe he gets a chance. Carabao Cup again's coming up, but I'm happy to be wrong.
Good. That's what we like to hear. Right, listen, let's get into the West Ham starting 11. And of course, you've been voting all this week in the community tab on YouTube, where you get a chance to vote for your 11 collectively as a group of subscribers. So we'll move into the goalkeeper. I'm not going to debate it, mate. I've just gone straight in there. There goes the switch. We now have Fabianski coming straight back in between the sticks. I don't think we're going to dwell on that too much. That's just the way life is. As it is. So let's just move
next month. Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's move into formation then, first and foremost, mate. With regards to formation, and potential players injured and potential players coming back, or players due to come back that aren't ready. Moyes has been trying a few different things, you name it, but I think we're going to go with the flat back four. Do you agree?
I really hope so. It is a Moyes, so there is always the problem potential of back five. But I don't want a back five, so we're going to go back four. But no.
So we're going to go back four. Right, so let's go with the first name on the team sheet in the centre-back pairing. So, in the week, we saw an absolutely fantastic debut from Naif Aguerd. David Moyes said in the pre-press conference for that we probably wouldn't see him in the Premier League before the World Cup. Ogbonna played in a back three and looked really good and looked really comfortable. I think that was also a lot to do with the fact that Aguerd was quality, albeit respect the opposition, all that sort of stuff. Zuma didn't play, but you fully expect Zuma to come straight back in to that back line, Matt, don't you?
Oh yeah, that was that was Moyes giving Zuma game off. No point risking him. And like you said, it gave Moyes more thought because the guys that come in played really well. So
yeah,
everyone's now going to have to start stepping up, putting in better performances, being on top of their game. Because if they don't, there's someone ready and waiting to come in and take it. But for now, at least until Aguerd's fit, like Zuma will be the first name on the team sheet for the centre backs. Like if he's fit, he'll always be there.
And then, do you know what? Again, we go back to that whole story about the way that Zuma is. Like, you always worry, is he going to pick up something? Has he got something? But he just keeps performing week in and week out. I won't dwell on that too much because we do that each week. His partner's an interesting one. Now, the rumours were kicking about saying that Dawson is close, but maybe not be fit enough. I don't really fancy playing Kira in that position. I'm also very aware of what David Moyes said about Naif Aguerd, but I'll be brutally honest with you, mate. I don't believe him. I don't believe him. Not after that performance at the week. I don't believe him. So I am putting my neck on the line, and I'm telling you that Aguerd's starting.
It would be a very big call. The problem is, right, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to say I don't think Moyes will do it, but equally, there's no reason for him not to do it. Like, he got, I think we all sat there thinking, if he gets like 45, maybe an hour, he'll do all right. I think he played 75 minutes.
He played 75 minutes, mate.
Yeah.
And he only came off because it was his first game back.
Yeah.
But you played 75 minutes in your first game and everything was okay. So I just don't understand the mindset behind someone saying, I'm going to play you in European games. I'm going to play you in a dead rubber. No, it doesn't make sense. I'm going to play in the League Cup. It doesn't make sense to me. Again, with massive respect onto Silkeborg's name, I didn't feel frightened from them whatsoever in the game. I think one chance that really concerned me, and that was it. But apart from that, I wasn't worried about them. But that what Aguerd brought to the game, and I don't need to keep going over about it, but it was progressive passing. It was he put the ball in front of the player when West Ham were playing forward. So Ben Johnson was there. He was forcing Johnson to go forward. Every pass was a yard or two in front of Johnson rather than directly to him. He was doing the same with Ogbonna. He was doing the same with every player on that park. And plus, he was spraying balls left, right, and centre. He will absolutely, if fit, change our dynamics of our team. Absolutely. And it's funny, we talk so much about players that come in and impact West Ham in the forward line. If we go back to when we brought Jesse Lingard in and how much he impacted our forward line, Aguerd has the same effect, in my honest, humble opinion, in the defence, because we have absolutely been crying out for someone who can ball carry, who is clever at reading the game, who is comfortable on the ball. He is. I don't see how you can play 75 minutes to the level he did and not even feature against Manchester United, because we, as much as I love Kira, I prefer him out right back. I prefer him out right back. And unless Dawson's fit, then for me, Aguerd's got to go in, mate. I just don't see how he doesn't go in. I literally don't see it. I get he says the comments, but that doesn't mean the comments are going to be fact either. His exact comments are not fact comments, you know? Have I convinced you or not? I don't know.
As I said, it's not convincing me. It's convincing Moyes. That's the problem. Like, I'm agree with you. He played them 75 minutes and he didn't look knackered at the end of it. He had some good sprints, a couple of good interceptions, good tackles. He had a very, very good, obviously standard the opposition, but as you said, he had a very, very good game, both in an attacking and defending sense. So for me, if he's fit, he should start. But the counter argument is this is Moyes. So will Moyes risk starting him at Old Trafford for his first game?
Well, I'll tell you something though. The key word you mentioned there, risk. Is it a risk? Why is it a risk?
It's for me. It's
Moyes said it.
Moyes will look at it and go, "Well, he hasn't played a Premier League game yet. We don't know if he's up to standard. He needs this time to adjust to the league." This is the usual Moyes spiel.
But the usual Moyes spiel, if you take into consideration last week against Silkeborg, the usual Moyes spiel would have gone, "I ain't going to play Ben Rama." Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. He's giving us different vibes this season. He is, and again, I keep going back to. For me, it's not about. I know it's just practicality. It makes sense. He played 75 minutes. He came out completely unscathed. He looked extremely fit. He looked fitter than most of our back line. He looked extremely comfortable. He changed the dynamics of the defense. So, and he said in a press conference that he was borderline pressured to put Aguerd in from Aguerd. You're telling me now Aguerd's not sitting there going, put me in that team. Put me on that team against Old Trafford.
I hope he is. I hope Moyes listens.
Yeah.
Because like you said, if it's not him, it'll be Kira. But, I think originally he was saying Leicester, that maybe that could be the first game. But then, that I said, he originally
last game.
If you go back about a month, he said if we're lucky, we might get him in for the Leicester game. And now he's not played couple of weeks out from the Leicester game. So
I'm telling you now, we're not building our future on Aguerd playing a dead rubber game next week when we've qualified for the round of 16. That is madness. That's madness in my humble opinion. Why would you play him there when you don't need him there? Play him in a game you need him. So there's more risk at that. Matt, I'm committing to it, mate, and I think I'm forcing you to commit to it. What do you think?
Yeah, go. As I said, it's our 11. I would play him.
I'd love to see that. Could you imagine that?
I don't think I'd say is I reckon it'd be the other way around if they played him.
Right, sorry, yeah, it will be. It will be, yeah. I've just put them in nice and quick. Yeah,
I think. And the thing is as well, is that for me, as I'm trying to be positive, it's like if you get him in, like we saw the mobility he had against Silkeborg's front line. So if you've got someone like Creswell in there, and then you've got Aguerd sitting there behind him, at least if Creswell does get skinned, you've got to pay. He honestly, if you put them in a straight sprint, he'd probably outsprint Creswell, who's playing the left back position.
Yeah.
So,
but the thing is, for me, we'll come on to Creswell in a second, but Creswell's been all right this season, and I've actually been quite impressed with him.
Very good.
So yeah, he has, and now I'm looking at this these two players at the back line. You've got one there that will put his body on the line, which is what we love as a West Ham fan base in Zuma. And you've got one who's a ball playing, calm, collected. That changes our teammate. That changes dynamics. We push forward. We don't sit back. He reads the game well. He screams. He is. Luke put in the chat the other night, like, he's a future captain. He is an absolute captain. There is no ifs or buts about it. And he seems to be quite popular amongst the players as well. That's why I'm putting him in, mate. I think it's a no-brainer to play him. And you know what? Even if you give him 75 minutes, you're getting 75 minutes of a player who's at a higher standard than the rest of your team, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? So it doesn't makes no sense, practical sense for him not to play tomorrow. It doesn't today. Sorry, it makes no sense. So I'm doing that, mate. I'm doing it. You've not convinced me otherwise.
I said, well, probably as I said for me, there's no, like, for us sitting here, there's no logical argument for him to not do it. Yeah. I'm just trying to get into Moyes' head and be like, why he wouldn't do it. It's like, as I said, the usual Moyes spiel of it's a foreign player, new league, they need time. He's only had one start, 75 minutes. Like, no, like I'm with you. If he's fit enough, he should play.
Yeah.
But I'm just giving you the Moyes.
The Moyes thinking. Well, watch this space. Let's move into the left back position. Again, probably no point in us dwelling on it. So let's just throw him in there. The man with the magic hat, Aaron Creswell. Like you said, mate, he's been performing well this season. So I don't see any need to change that position. Completely agree.
Yeah. That's funny. Cool. Is it any coincidence we brought in someone to compete for the position and, all of a sudden he's upped his levels?
Yeah.
Back towards old Creswell, I'm not saying it is. It could just be something. Maybe he's like Antonio. Maybe changed his diet and it's made him fitter or something. But it seems coincidence that they brought in an actual left back to compete, and all of a sudden Creswell's levels have gone up again. Yeah,
but that's the whole point of a squad. You're looking at our bench the other night, mate, against Silkeborg. Like the strength, the quality of the strength and depth is clear to see, and now a lot of kind of neutral fans or pundits are picking up on that when you're able to bring off, we I've seen a lot of people slagging off West Ham. Mate, we qualified winning all 5 games of the Europa League with what you would classify as our second string team and utilising our squad. So
let's not forget, this isn't a dig because it is, but like Tottenham done the same thing last year. They probably could have qualified, maybe would have qualified on the last game had the COVID situation not forced it to be they gave up the 3 points, but they still would have had to win the last game to qualify. And that was with them rotated and playing a mixture of the kids and the second team. So this year we've gone and done it, and we've won all 5 games, and with a game to spare, it's irrelevant. Like, it literally is an irrelevant game. You could quite easily send out frigging Wolverton with the under-23s and the under-23 manager and be like, yeah, you guys go off to Bucharest, have some fun. And the Premier League team's going to sit here and wait for the game next weekend because we've got more important things to worry about.
Yeah. Well, if you are watching, give us your comments so far on the back 3 defenders that we've discussed before we get into right back and the goalkeeper. The big topical point really is, does Aguerd start or not? I've pushed the boat out there and I'm saying, yeah, he does. And we'll have to wait and see. Now, if Aguerd or any other centre-back comes in to the team, that pushes out the man that we want to be out there, and Naif Aguerd. Do you agree? Sorry, not Naif Aguerd, Thilo Kehrer. But you've got to give a bit of credit, mate, to Ben Johnson and Soufal over the last few weeks, because collectively, Ben Johnson, for me, has been harshly treated by a lot of West Ham fans because he's had an injury, he's had to play in several different positions, and he had to do it again in the week.
I liked Ben Johnson, but at the moment I've got one gripe with him, and I don't think it's his fault. I think there was that interview, was it earlier in the season or at the back end of last season when they interviewed the fullbacks? I think Creswell made the joke about, no defender starts out to play fullback.
Well, Soufal, yeah.
Yeah, that you start at centre-back and then you get chucked out there. You can see that Johnson was a centre-back in the nicest way possible. Like, his first instinct isn't to attack. Like, that for me, that's the difference between him and Soufal. Johnson is probably the better defender. and he's the more defensive-minded player. But Soufal's more aggressive, wants to get forward.
And that's what makes it interesting about a player like Naif Aguerd, because he places the ball in front of Johnson. So he forced his play forced Johnson to attack, which was good to see. That's why you saw him getting down the side a lot more. But putting Tilo Kira there, a lot more natural, a lot more pacey, good on the ball, good at getting forward, good at defending. It's a no-brainer, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think we covered it. Like if he goes, if Aguerd doesn't start, then I think that 2 moves across, and then you'd probably argue it'd be Johnson because it's Old Trafford. But this is what we want to see going forward as the back 4.
Yeah. Absolutely. Cool. Leave your comments. Let us know your thoughts on that as we move into central midfield. Now, the last couple of Premier League games that West Ham have been playing, we have saw a new midfield take place, and that's been a trio of central defensive midfielders, you could call it. Declan Rice, Tommy Soucek, and Flynn Downs. And in the week, all 3 players were given what you could classify as a respectful nod from the manager to say, I'm not going to start you in the game, but I'll give you a little bit of game time if need be. And he followed through with it, and that's exactly what happened. And the 3 of them, mate, have actually been performing quite well playing together. And it does remind me of the early days of when we brought Tommy Soucek in alongside Mark Noble and Declan Rice. There's a very strong understanding between the trio of them, and it seems to kind of borderline get the job done. I know you lack the creativity with that, but you do have high, intense players that are holding onto the ball, of which 2 are distributing the balls really well, and one that can just drive in Declan Rice. So on the basis of that, do the 3 of them start, and what's your thoughts?
It probably will be. It's the fact that all 3 didn't play in the European game tells you they probably will start. It is a weird scenario because that is literally how they're lining up, And even in some ways, in the 2 games, Downs was almost playing as like a second centre forward.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
he was basically he was pushing right up to give an extra pair of legs to Scamacca to push on with the pressing. Scamacca hasn't got to try and do shuttle runs across the whole back 4. But I do sometimes think we might be missing a trick by not swapping Downs and Soucek's positions. I think that we've seen, if we go back to when Soucek first come in, that first half season and the second season, the season we finished 6th, his thing was making runs into the box, making them late runs in, getting the headers in. And it's just what, if we're going to play one of the 2 further up, and why not play the big guy? Why not play him up around Scamacca? Because then you've got Rice and Downs to sit deep, make the tackles. The 2 of them have got fantastic ball retention and passing ability. I would go for something like that, but I think it will be them 3. The way it come up the first time is probably how it will go again. Like you said, you do lack a lot of the creativity of not having Paqueta in there. I must admit that is the fact that he's played a few games and he's had Downs as that sort of number 10, and he hasn't played, which I was quite surprised at, a 4 hours, does show you how he really has, he must have switched Moyes' opinion on him.
Yeah.
Because for the life of me, I thought when Paqueta went out, I thought, maybe this is where he's going to put Fornals in. Because Fornals does the same sort of role. He can do the same sort of thing of giving you the pressing, giving you the energy and the passing and ball retention. But Fornals got dropped and Downs kept his position. So, it's, like you said, you're not going to get the creativity, but you get the height, you get the box to box, you get the energy, you got the compactness, the tightness, and the ball retention. So,
I think one of the reasons why he sits in that role, though, more than Tommy Soucek is for ball retention, because you've got more, you've got the confidence in the job that Rice and Soucek are doing, especially with that defence behind you there. But I think that if you don't have creativity, then what you need next is players who will hold the ball in that area for you. And Flynn Downs is extremely clever at doing that job, mate. He is. All 3 of them are, to be fair. All 3 of them have a big strength, which is holding the ball. The difference between the weakness that Soucek has got is his distribution of the ball. Downs' distribution is a lot better. Rice's distribution is a lot better. But the difference by putting, I mean, you can't really change Rice, keep Rice where he is, doing what he does. I think I understand the decision to put Downs there because, again, it's the hold-up play. It allows maybe to bring Rice into the game, to bring Souček into the game if they're driving forward, to allow any other player to come forward when you don't have that creativity. That's the only thing I can think of. And I've seen it a few times when he's been playing. He's done it against Liverpool. He kind of held that ball in a very attacking area that allowed more players to come and get involved. So, yeah, I agree with you, mate. I think this will be the three, and I think that's how they will line up. And can't really fault any three of them over the last few games. I think they've been stepping up to the plate. And you know what?
I think it's going to be interesting when Paqueta comes back, because now who's going to make way?
Well, yes, that's where we could then go on and have that discussion about, does one of the transitions that we're thinking about start to take place, which I've said I thought it probably could a lot earlier. But we'll have to wait and see when he does come back and how many games are to go. So it will make for interesting reading. But we've got 8 players on the park, mate. We've got 3 more to choose from. So let's go and discuss the right-hand side. Now, we do know that Jared Bowen took a bit of a knock. They said something about his ankle, but then David Moyes also alluded to the fact that he has been doing work on the grass and he's been turning and all this sort of stuff. Do you have any doubts in your mind that he won't play?
I don't know. It's the fact that he had the knock. I'm like, is he going to start him or not? It's an interesting one, because if he doesn't, it leaves the door open for something else. But
what's something else?
For me, if Bowen's fit, he starts, right? 100%. If there's any chance Moyes can start him, he'll start him. But for whatever reason, if the medical team go, you know what, you could get 30 minutes out of him, he's not going to start. You can't get you won't get 60 minutes out of him. It then leaves that right hand side open. And if he's out and Paqueta's out and obviously Cornet's still out, it does offer the opportunity for maybe like an Antonio to come in on that right hand side, put him out on the wing again. Now, obviously, like I said, if Bowen's available, Bowen will start. But if he's not, I would generally love to see it. Just do it for one game. Chuck him out there. Because like we said, neither of them need to go and play on Thursday nights. It's not like where we usually rotate one and one starts today and one starts in midweek. You can let the under 23s go. So if Bowen isn't fit, put Antonio in.
So on that basis, and I love your thinking, mate, what are we going to commit with? Are we going to have the balls and shake it all up?
It's not. The thing is, it's not that far to go to, and it's almost like Moyes maybe shoehorned into having to do it. Like I said, Paqueta's not fit, Cornet's not fit, and Bowen's not fit. So
that we know of.
Bowen's 50-50. Cornet's definitely not, and Paqueta's definitely not, and Bowen's 50-50. As I said, if Bowen is fit, then Moyes will start him. But if he's not, that means you've basically got Bowen, Antonio, Fornals, Benrahma, and Scamacca to fill 3 positions. So does he go defensive and put someone like Fornals there? Or does for once in his life, Daniels actually go for it and go, you know what? The only natural right-footed winger I've got left to put in that position is Antonio.
Yeah. I would, again, love Fornals, but I just don't see him starting with that trio as being any form of creativity. I think it would leave the players up top who we're going to discuss in a second to struggle, and I think you really need that. So if it's not Bowen, I can see it, mate. I can see Antonio coming in. I mean, I've got these are your options here. These are what myself and Matt are discussing. Let me bring it in. So what Matt is actually saying is, let me get it up. It's coming to you. That if Bowen is fit, of course, he goes in at the right-hand side. But if he's not fit, then this would be your potential player that comes in at the right-hand side with Antonio, giving you an option for the players up top. So, give me your final commitment. I know we can chop and change, but what's your final one? And we'll stick with that one.
I'm going to go Antonio. So I'm going to go, cool. Bowen's not fit. Go Antonio.
Right, cool. There you go. We'll stick with Antonio. Right, out on the left-hand side, the man himself, Benny.
Deservedly so.
Yeah, deservedly so. Absolutely. He slots straight back in there. He's getting a bit of run of games. And he deserves to get the run of games as well. And he is taking his chance. A couple of goals, mate. A couple of goals will just do him the world of good. A couple more assists will do him the world of good. And he's admitted quite clearly that he is a confidence player. And having that option out on the left-hand side with the creativity as well, then, if you've got either Bowen or Antonio on the park, then you've got a lot more kind of confidence that we'll be able to do something when we drive forward. But already, mate, we haven't got the striker in there, but I'm impressed with that team as it is.
But if you go there like that, like the thing is as well, if this team even come out, there would still be people that moan because you've got the three defensive midfielders sitting in the middle. Yeah. But play it like a 4-3-3 then. If you've got Antonio on there and Benrahma as the wingers, play it like an actual 4-3-3. Put three across the middle.
Yeah.
And then let Antonio and Benrahma help put the pressure on the fullbacks.
Yeah. Right, let's move into the last final position, which is the striker. And there's no need for us really to debate anything here. I think, Scamacca hasn't scored in a couple of games, but he's done everything else in the games, causing absolute mayhem in their defence, to the point where you can actually see defenders and teams putting 2 or 3 players on him. And that benefits West Ham because it allows other players to get involved.
But they're still struggling, even when they put the 2 or 3 players on.
Yeah, they are.
They're still at times struggling to get the ball off him. He would, even if Bowen was fit, I think it'd still be Scamacca starting. I think I do wonder, I did say something the other day that I don't know if Antonio might be carrying a knock. Because in the last couple of games, he hasn't quite looked like right. I don't know. This just seems to be, especially like, I know the Bournemouth game when he come off the bench. Like we dropped like 15, 20 yards backwards down the pitch as soon as he come on. Like he just wasn't holding on to the ball.
Yeah. And
it's almost day and night at the moment, the difference between the ability that Scamacca's got to hold it and then the ability that Antonio's got. Scamacca's a big bloke and he knows how to shield the ball, how to use himself, how to win free kicks, how to hold the ball up.
He does.
Whereas Antonio, like every time the ball seems to go in at the moment, it's hitting his feet, bouncing away, and he's going over, and the ref's just like, no. Like he doesn't know how to win, how to hold up or win the free kick if he knows he's going to get clattered.
Yeah.
But
the thing is with Scamacca against this Man United defence, albeit Man United have hit a bit of a run of form, but they're still there for the taking, mate. Absolutely no ifs or buts about it.
Oh, absolutely.
And with either of the lineups that we've potentially predicted, you can see West Ham going there and getting at them, and that's the key element for me is going there and getting at them. You've seen it today with Leeds, yesterday with Leeds against Liverpool. You've seen what happens when teams go at these teams and give them something to worry about or to panic about. They don't know how to really deal with it, to be honest, and it really does cause them a lot of problems. But this is mine and Matt's predicted 11 here. We've gone with Fabianski maintaining his position in goal. We have gone for his Premier League debut in Naif Aguerd at Old Trafford with Zuma, the brick wall beside him. Creswell maintaining his position at left back. Thilo Kehrer slips out into the right back position, which we all as fans think is his natural position and like him out there, which is good. West Ham then keeping the trio of central defensive midfielders in the middle of the park with Tommy Soucek, Flynn Downs through the middle potentially in a number 10 holding up the ball kind of role, and Declan Rice also keeping up that trio of midfielders there. Then we have gone for Benrahma, keep maintaining his position in the team out on the left, and this time we have gone, if Bowen is not fit, we've actually gone for Antonio out on the right hand side with the big man Scamacca leading the line. The alternative form team would be one change, which would be Jared Bowen in for Antonio. We have been asking you, though, as fans, who you would like to see in the starting 11. I'm going to give you the results now. There you go. So, I mean, literally only really a few changes from your choices to mine and Matt's choice. So, on the basis of that, mate, what's your predictions and thoughts ahead of the game today, later on?
In a stat attack, I think I said 2-2. I think. I mean, I'd take a point. Like now, I'd take a point. Purely because I know what we're like sometimes. Obviously, we want the win, but record's not great at Old Trafford, so I'd quite openly take a point off your hand right now. Yeah. I think there'll be goals.
Yep.
So I'm going to stick what I said. I'm going to go 2-2. Go for a Desmond.
Well, with one of those lineups that we've shown you, I am going to go for a 2-1 West Ham victory. And why the hell not, mate? Why the hell not? However, if you did say to me, would you take a point now? I would absolutely as well.
Yeah.
Matt, any final words?
Safe travels. People getting up there tomorrow. It's a long way to go
today.
For a 4:15 kickoff?
Is it?
So it's going to be a horrible time to get up there and a horrible time to get back.
Yeah. It is a 4:15 kickoff.
Yeah, extra 15 minutes for no apparent reason. Like,
I actually thought it was a 2:00 kickoff. I don't know why I thought it was a 2:00 kickoff. That might change the dynamics of me watching the game. I might actually be able to help you. So later on today, if you are, just make sure you come and check out on Matchday Live. We will be doing a Matchday Live for you as well. So make sure you do join us for that. Anyway, stay safe, everyone. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in becoming a subscriber, then hit that subscribe button. It looks like that over there. It's red. If it's red, it means you haven't hit the subscribe button. Hit it. It then goes grey. There's a bell beside it. Hit the bell notification. That will then notify you when the shows do go live. If you're interested in becoming a channel member, then click on the membership option. It says join. Then you can look at the tiered processes as well. Hit the thumbs up if you've enjoyed the content. Leave us your comments and give us your team lineup predictions as well in the comments. And yeah, stay safe, everyone. And of course, as we do, we say thanks to our sponsors today. Come on, you irons.